Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this review is for the movie called BlacKkKlansman. BlacKkKlansman. From visionary filmmaker Spike Lee comes the incredible true story of an American hero. In the early 1970s, Ron Stallworth becomes the first African American detective in the Colorado Springs Police Department. Determined to make a difference, he bravely sets out on a dangerous mission: infiltrate and expose the Ku Klux Klan. He recruits a seasoned colleague, Flip Zimmerman, into the undercover investigation. Together, they team up to take down the extremist organization aiming to garner mainstream appeal. Produced by the team behind the Academy Award-winning Get Out, BlacKkKlansman offers an unflinching, true-life examination of race relations in 1970s America that is just as relevant in today's tumultuous world. This is a 2018 film. It is rated R, and it runs 2 hours and 15 minutes. It stars John David Washington, Adam Driver, Topher Grace, and Corey Hawkins. But there's a lot of people along the way that you'll just kind of recognize, if not their face, their name on what they've done before also. BlacKkKlansman. Well, I'll talk about the history of my history of this movie so far. The exposure for this movie really did get out. There were commercials, there were advertisements. I didn't feel like seeing such a tense movie in theater, but I did know it was going to be something, so I was somewhat looking forward to watching it here at home on DVD. And I didn't know anything about it, and we just had the Golden Globes. I saw it got nominated for a couple movies, like Movie of the Year. So now that I know that, I know how much this movie really was worth viewing. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those movies that is heavy, and you get a lot out of it, and you're going to be shocked, and you're going to feel uncomfortable, but that kind of means that it's good. It doesn't mean that since you didn't get anything out of it, doesn't mean that it's bad. It means that you don't really understand all of it, I think. That's kind of how I'm feeling. So, right away, I didn't really know what to expect out of this movie, and I thought it had really good natural flow. I thought it was one of the best flowing, naturally made movies I've seen in a while, except for maybe like a family comedy or something. But just the way the storyline worked, the way that things flowed from one event to the next, and people talked to this person, then did that thing, really appreciated how well the movie was done. Some movies are so choppy, they go from this thing, they talk about this thing too much, they go onto that scene for too long, and it's just awkward and doesn't make any sense. There's none of that in this. There really isn't. It just keeps moving, and it only has relevant things along the way. It's all interesting. It's very good. The story, I guess, at the end of the movie, we kind of find out that this is kind of a true story. So that does help my understanding of how, it was so interesting and so original and so just immensely interesting completely the whole time. So, but when I was watching it, I didn't know that, and I just thought it was just an incredible story. And I was wondering how anybody could come up with this idea. So, I kind of thought it was original, but I guess it's based off a true story. When I watch a movie like this, I'm always shocked that there'd be any kind of comedy. It should be just completely about race and the goal of the movie and the tension and all that. And this one actually had quite a few laughs, so I was pleasantly surprised. So I do advise watching it for the comedy fact. Maybe a lot of people don't know that that's in this movie, but it really is funny part of the time, and there's a couple things that really get you. So I was surprised by that too. The thing that makes this like such an as far as the movie value goes, okay, not anything with the race or the characters or anything like that, just the storyline of the movie. What makes this so interesting is that these cops are undercover. It's just amazing. It adds another layer to the interesting factor where people are just, surprised by everything that happens, and maybe you're just sitting there watching it and you're a little bored, but that's the wrong feeling because you don't understand everything that's going on. Everything that's being said has to be thought about ahead of time. You have to prepare, you have to plan, you have to be on the spot, ready to say things, act like someone that's completely not yourself, say what your undercover person would say. So everything in this movie was thought out. Everything for these characters, the way they act, the way they talk, the things they do, none of it just happens. Everything is thought ahead of time, how that person would say this and this and this. And so when you know that and you think about that while you're watching, it just blows your mind. Some of the stuff that happens, some of the stuff that they're presented with, and how they react and what they say and how they do things. It's just amazing. Really amazing, and it adds another layer to this movie. And when it gets that heavy and there's that much going on and what happens at the end, I was really thinking I was going to be disappointed at the ending because the way it was going, it was kind of slowing down and things were kind of becoming obvious and predictable. And I was like, oh, I know how this is going to end. It's just going to be some awful movie that was nominated for Golden Globes and it has some stupid ending. And nope, it was actually a really good ending. So it took this worst character, which is Felix's wife, and gives her something to do, and has this boom of an ending, and everything about it is just amazing. And what happens at the very, very end is really funny, and then, cut the movie off, and it's natural, and it's a good place to stop. Everything about it really surprised me. I was sitting there hearing the N-word about 1,000 times, and all these other names and all this talk and talk of racism, and it's uncomfortable. I understand that. It's maybe not what people want to hear. I understand that. It's about a lot of dark parts of our history and what the country's going through. I know that. But for a movie, this blows my mind. And it's heavy, and it's entertaining, and it's great acting, and it's great situational awareness, and just everything about it is phenomenal as far as I'm concerned, and I got left with a feeling of just wanting to sit there and absorb it at the end, and that's the best kind of movie. The one that leaves you at the end just wanting to think and absorb what you've watched and think about everything that happened through it. And it's just one of those kind of movies. And so as much as some people might be completely against this movie because of what's in it and the subject material and the name calling and the history of the KKK, I understand all that. But for a movie, it's one of the best I've seen. I'm going to give it an A. And I think that everybody needs to watch this. They need to be aware of this kind of a movie because this is like something that can change people's minds about how things are handled and what's going on in our country is a little bit more than you getting coffee at Starbucks and going to the gym every day. There's a lot more going on, and I think it's great for that factor. And I think it's great for all the actors and actresses and the job that they did to make this movie entertaining, interesting, and well done. So BlacKkKlansman, I'm giving an A. I totally advise watching. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy movies. Thank you.